So you'd like to be able to ask your dog for a behavior and get the appropriate response. It all starts here. First, set up the environment so that the behavior you want is most likely to happen. For example, work in a low distraction environment. If you want to work on recall, click and treat something you like, toss the treat away so that your dog is then most likely going to head right back towards you. Next, begin to reinforce the behavior until it's offered. With our example, again, when we toss the treat away, it is most likely that your dog will then head back to you, which you can then mark and reinforce. Next, we begin to add the cue as the behavior is happening. This means that we start to associate the label or the cue with the behavior. In our example, as the dog is heading back to you, you can then cue your recall. Say it, show it, only when it's reliably occurring. Finally, and slowly, we begin to back the cue out in front. This means instead of, in our example, adding the cue when the dog is heading back towards you and almost there, you start adding the cue as the dog begins moving towards you. Then just as the dog starts turning to move towards you, and so on. By slowly backing the cue out in front, you can eventually cue the behavior and get the response that you want. Keep in mind that anytime you raise criteria in one area, for example, if you move to a more distracting environment, you temporarily lower the criteria in another. So for example, you might need to take a step back to the start of the labeling the behavior as it occurs. By following these steps with patience and consistency, you'll get to fluent cues.